We do have a quorum, so we'll call the meeting to order. The town of Inuvik acknowledges that we are located on the traditional lands of the Gwich'in people of the Northwest Territories. We are grateful to be allowed the opportunity to learn, work, and live on Treaty 11 lands within the Gwich'in settlement area and the lands of the Inuvik Final Agreement. We respect the generous sharing of traditional wisdom and knowledge. We commit to honoring paths towards self-determination. Item number 2, adoption of the agenda. We do have an in-camera tonight, so I need a mover and a seconder. Deputy Mayor Kulikowski and Councillor Gallants. Any questions? None. Declaration of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest? None. Right?
Do we have to vote on it?
Good, sure. The adoption of the agenda, all in favor? Motion's carried. Declaration of conflict of interest or pecuniary interest. Nobody. We have no delegations, presentations, or petitions. We have no public here. So item 6, adoption of the minutes of the January 9th and 11th, 2023 council meeting. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Harder and Councillor Devlin. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Action items list, item 7.1. Any questions? New business, 8.1. Approving terms of reference for the naming committee. The motion will be it resolved, the Inuvik Town Council hereby adopts the naming committee terms of reference as presented. I need a mover and a seconder. Deputy Mayor Kulikowski and Councillor Alexis. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion's carried. Bylaws, 9.1. Third and final reading of the water rates bylaw, 2702/UTIL/23. A mover, Councillor Harder, and a seconder, Councillor Gallants. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. 9.2, third and final reading of the solid waste levy bylaw. Motion is be it resolved, the Inuvik Town Council hereby gives third and final reading to bylaw 2713/UTIL/23, the solid waste levy bylaw. A mover, Councillor Devlin, a seconder, Councillor Harder. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion's carried. Nine point 3, interim tax billing bylaw, the first and second reading. Motion will be it resolved, the Inuvik Town Council hereby gives first reading to bylaw 2705/PAX/23, 2023 interim tax billing bylaw. A mover, Councillor Devlin, and a seconder, Councillor Gallants. Any comments? All those in favor? Motion carried. Thank you, Alana. Second reading, the same bylaw. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Wainman and Councillor Harder. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion is carried. 9.4, First and second reading. The Inuvik Town Council hereby gives first reading to bylaw 2706/APP/23, a bylaw to appoint a bylaw enforcement officer. A mover and a seconder for first reading, Councillor Alexis and Councillor Winniman. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried.
Yes.
Second reading, same bylaw. A mover, Councillor Devlin.
I'll make that.
Carter.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion's carried. 11.1 strategic priorities chart. Any discussion? We have 11.2 various research projects. Any comments? Item 12, council concerns. Anything tonight? Seeing none. Nope. Deputy Mayor.
Just wondering if there's an update available on the pool.
I could say stay tuned for, we did have a meeting this afternoon and there will be a good news announcement coming out, but I think at this point in time, we just need to confirm one thing tomorrow morning, just on one real small thing, but from what we understand now in the meeting this afternoon was any of the issues, the physical pool, are basically resolved, and anything that's left is so minor that it will not impact being able to operate, because we can finish the result. The next thing is, it was a good meeting as to what are the next steps, so we're probably still looking at a month, just because of the different steps. We need a minimum of a week for the lifeguard training, and that's if we can get all the people there for 5 consecutive days. They need 5 days, so depending on if they can't make it all in 1 week, then that gets extended because we can't open. And then obviously we need a week before that to clean the pool as far as disinfect, because obviously there's been a lot of construction and things like that, and there's health regulations, and get that all approved. We are bringing somebody up next week to help us with some finalizing of operational as far as testing and a few operational things, just because of some of the lack of, we've lost some of the knowledge base, so to speak, and this is an expert to come up, but train and that. At the end of March, we also have coordinated with MAC to do a school community government pool operations course. So it's good news. And that.
Councillor Wainman.
So I might have missed it, but did you say that they have to train for 5 consecutive days for the lifeguards? And that's extra 5 days that were closed while they're training, correct?
We can't open until that, because that to get their certification, there's certain things they have to do. And based on, they've done some of the preliminary, if you want to call it, land-based.
Is it pool specific?
Yes.
It is.
It's, they have, and most of it's in the water. They've already done the preliminary land-based training.
But it is pool specific though, right? Like we can't send them somewhere to get trained for that week and open a week earlier.
Well, it's not necessarily pool so specific, but 3/4 of lifeguards are students.
Yeah, my son
So-
loves going.
So we have to pull them out of school. but
Okay,
I don't.
all right, I'm just checking to see how, but you know,
You've been a great.
I'm sure there'd be a lot of volunteers.
So, and the other thing that we're working on is finalizing when we do open is, we anticipate there'll be a rather large influx of people wanting to use the pool. There are regulations as to, again, because 6 really isn't enough to even run full time, so, and we have some others working on it, but they're at different stages. So we'll probably have to limit the number of people allowed in the pool at any one time. That's
So what is our limit now?
Well, it's based on if you have 2 lifeguards, I'm not 100% how much it is, but then you can have 50 people or something like that in the pool, or that kind of thing. It's depending on how many lifeguards you have, depends on how many people you're allowed.
Have we ever had 50 at once in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna recommend that we like public swim for the first week, just to allow the influx.
Well, we're gonna work on the different, how we wanna do it. And, part of it is, to be honest, there is a feeling, well, hey, because it's been closed for so long, then let's go for a week with free public swims, which sounds really good. However, then that has a tendency potentially to complicate, because then everybody's want to come, then you're gonna have to turn people away. So do we?
So do you have to do 2 weeks then?
Yeah. But I mean, those are all possibilities.
Yeah.
We have to look at kind of a thing.
So is there a schedule that's been finalized on kind of the times for the public, for families, for?
They're looking at the schedule right now because the other thing is, the new pool supervisor has some really refreshing ideas. She's already been over at the school. So like I say, we have about 11 other people coming on various things, but they, again, the whole lifeguard thing is they have to have, I believe it's a bronze star or whatever they call it first, and then you have to get the lifeguard certification. So they're working on getting people through that bronze star first. And they've got about 11 people. She went over to the school to, and has a lot of interest. I think 3/4 of the kids in the Inuvik end up working at the pool sometime or other.
Is there a timeline for additional lifeguards in the sense that you know where folks are at right now that aren't quite there, but you got a sense of, okay.
Yeah, she's working, and that's why I say, like, we've got the ones that have the bronze star that need to get the certification. She has taken,
It's a bronze medallion.
medallion, yeah, a bronze thingy, I guess, and that,
I
so.
think the bronze cross is for when you've been injured in war.
Well, okay, well, maybe at the pool lately, it's been like a war, but.
Yeah, could be
But
applicable.
it's a question of, getting through all the different regulations, and this is the one area where there's no real, gray area. Well, they can kind of do it, because what they can do with some of these ones, if they get the bronze medallion, and then there's one little thing that they can be out on deck with a certified lifeguard. It's just they can only, I think what they call scan and that, right? But they can't actually physically go into the water if there's a need and that. So that would help, because then that would allow you to lift up the number of people that could be in the pool as well. But it's all a process. And until we get until they can get us to get in the water, because we looked at it today, it's only 22 degrees. It should be at about 28, 27, 28 degrees is where the pool is an optimum, what they recommend. So
What's the maximum capacity of it?
however, well, how many people would get shoulder to shoulder in there and have enough lifeguards around? So
Well, don't forget, everybody put in water, right?
water raises.
Save money on water that way.
But we did discuss, right, the number of people and pictures of places where they don't quite follow the rules, where they said they saw a picture of a pool in one place where there were so many people in the pool just standing there. You couldn't see the water.
We had 75, I think, was the biggest
I
I
think
saw during my
Yeah.
time, and it was packed.
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty much where you weren't.
Is it a wading pool or when you can do things in, right? I mean, that's how you have to work at it. And they are working on swimming lessons too. That's the other priority that they want to get going, because that's the other thing, so.
Okay, any further council concerns? I need a motion to move in camera. Councilor Harder, seconded by Councilor Wayman. All in favor? Carried.
Yeah.
In camera.
Let's make a quick call.